Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome back. April is officially in the books. Today was the last trading day and it was probably the best day of the month. I mean, that was crazy. We are continuing to making new highs in the market. No, regardless of how you feel about it, right? We may felt like the market does not deserve to be running up that way, but the market does not care. Price is king. But at the same time, I am very, very careful. I am very, very, very careful, guys. Best day of the month at all time high, right at the top of the channel. To me, that was just crazy. That reversal was just crazy. We had those big earnings that came in, and guess what? Those stocks did not perform. Beside Alphabet, Microsoft dropped. Amazon didn't perform that well. Actually, it was actually some other stuff going on. Almost like the love was getting spread a little bit today. So the S&P closed above 7,200 for the first time in history. Obviously, we are at record high. The Nasdaq had its best month since April 2020. The Dow gained nearly 10%. I mean, the Dow gained 10% in a single month. And then after the close, Apple reported. And when Apple reported, now if you were here yesterday, you guys already know. I told you guys that I was already in Apple and I was going to hold through earnings. Why? I am in options, and my options goes all the way to September. I had no issue if Apple dropped, because a lot of times when Apple report, it actually drops, and then you had the rally that comes right after that. But they had a record breaking quarter that was just insane. Beating estimate by a lot. EPS was above 2.1 2.01 versus a 1.94. Guidance was very strong, but it wasn't all rosy. This is what was so surprising and so shocking about that move, because GDP numbers came lower. We also had inflation data came in a lot harder than we thought it was going to be. Unemployment job numbers are actually not doing very good. So the job market is actually very, very soft. What they really mean when they say the job market is soft, it just means that we can't find jobs. All right, it's just a fancy way of saying people cannot find jobs. So that's pretty much what was happening. I mean, literally, inflation is nearly like the highest, nearly in what, 3 years? That's the highest it has been. When you talk about PCE inflation and core PCE, it is the highest it's been in more than 3 years. And somehow we are at all-time high. And also remember, the Strait of Hormuz is still not yet open. That's still not yet open. So why exactly are we wanting this high? Do we deserve to be where we are? But remember when I told you guys, although I believe we are at a very we I'm cautiously bullish. And but I know where we are right now. Where we are right now is the all-time high, right at the top of the channel. However, we got to all-time high without setting stocks making a run. Like we haven't had Apple really making a big one. There's a lot of other stocks that's not running. It's just been the AI trade. So think about that scenario, because what I really thought was going to happen, like the stock market would rally, we'll have a pullback, which we never will actually got, and then maybe we're going to have some sort of negotiated settlement. The Strait of Hormuz will be open. All these things was going to be go smooth. That's not what we had. Not even close, not even a little bit. That is not what we had, and things are just a little rocky right now. Anyway, I hope that gets fixed. But if that gets fixed, if that gets resolved, let's say we have some sort of deal that happened, I can see this market running a lot higher, because now you have a lot of other stock that's not really moving up that much. All right, guys. If again, once again, thank you for being here. I hope you had a great day today. I hope today trading did you well. The way the market was moving. Before I go any further, I must give you guys that disclaimer. I am not your financial advisor. Nothing I say here is any suggestions for you guys to buy, hold, or sell. What I'm doing here is reading the charts, what the charts are telling me. I'm translating that for you guys, and I'm letting you know how I'm executing. If you are looking to trade, make sure you do your own due diligence. And if you do not know what you are doing, contact a financial advisor. Or, third thing you can do, you can come to my chat and copy my trades. I only charge $25 a month for a week for that. But guess what? For those people that are part of the chat, they will let you know this is something that is worth it. I'm looking here, Empire Path is already here, and James is already here. As usual, I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for engaging. If you are here, make sure to smash the like button for me because those engagements really, really, really help. All right, so I do appreciate you guys with that. We have a lot to cover, therefore, we must go and get into the charts. Let's go. As you guys know what I do here, this is no fluff, this is no BS. We focus on the charts and we're just giving you guys probabilities about what's going to happen. All right, here you go. This is this bad boy. This is the S&P 500, guys. This is what we are doing. Let me clean up the chart. Remove some of the indicators that I currently have. Here you go. Boom. Perfect. So this is what. Oh my goodness. This is what we did. We literally dip right in there to come grab some liquidity, and we just bounce. So now we are actually poking our head out. So is that a false breakout, or is that a true bull flag for one higher? Because right now, this is where we are right now. This is literally where we are at the top end of the channel and peeking our head out. This is the first time. If you look at this entire channel, I have to go on the weekly, guys, so you can see it because this goes back so far. So I have to go there. This is the first. Actually, no, it's not the first time. We actually did pick our head out just a little bit here as well. But what we saw today was this to me was just crazy. I really thought we were going to one down to make a bit of a pullback, at least come and test these levels, which I think would be very healthy for the market. But the bulls just say, hey, you know what? We're taking control. We're in the middle of earnings. Earnings is good. Things are going on, which is getting convincing me a little bit. Um, Let's see. Oh yeah, and this is convincing me a little bit that in the summer we might have a big drop. Remember, we typically have a down day during the summertime, and when all those hedge fund managers are out in the south of France or wherever they go, Monaco or wherever, I think we might have a steep pullback because we are just squeezing so high without any pullback right now. Looking at that again, remember when I told you guys you had your thing, just watch to see how we react right at this level. And how did we react at this level? We actually break it, and when we break it, we just move, pretty much just slide on through. Again, let's take a look at the 4 hours. One thing I want to remind, again, a quick reminder. A lot of times, whatever the Fed say, the market takes about 2 days to really digest it. So we're in day one. So tomorrow is the second day. So on Friday, typically is when the market decide which way it's typically going to go after we have the Fed FOMC meeting. All right. So we are looking at that, man. We are squeezing. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to look at that. Let's see. If I draw that, I can draw this to give this a bit of a channel. If we give this that channel, you guys can see literally what happened. So that would be the channel. So we just came and hit right on that trend line. Let me erase some of these things. This is what I keep telling you guys. I love trading with trend lines, and these are the reasons why I like trading with trend lines, right? What exactly happened on this? We just, if you had that trend line, we literally just came down here, bounced on that trend line. That was held as support, right? So you can see it. This is what we did. We came down, bounced on that trend line. We tried to go up, came back, bouncing it again, and we have done that multiple. Today we tried again, and we have done that multiple times. So far, this is holding strong so far, right? So now we have a rising wedge. At some point, we're either going to have to break above or break below the wedge. When is that gonna happen? I don't know, but I'm really letting you guys know as of right now. I don't know who's going to get left holding the bag, but somebody's going to get left holding the bag. I'm trying to make sure it's not me. That is the only thing I can do, and that's all I can do for you guys here. Trying to help you guys to make sure that it is not you. And again, if you go on the 2 hour time frame, what do we see? Remember yesterday, guys, I told you guys we had this possibility of having a possible double bottom, right? So that's pretty much what played out. This was the double bottom, and then we push higher. If we go in the 30 minutes, the 30 minutes actually did not really give it very, very, very clear in the 30 minutes. But you guys can see, again, the trend line would have been your guide on how to follow things. Really learn trend lines, man. Trend lines is super, super important. Um, so next company I want to take a look at is Meta. I want to take a look at Meta. Why? Because I think Meta is giving an opportunity. Those are profitable companies. It's not like Meta; they did not lose money. Look at that. They beat earnings by 56%. This company revenue grew $1 billion. That's in one quarter. Over $1 billion is what they grew by. Actually, I'm nearly a billion. 3 quarters of a billion actually to be exact. $354 million. That's growth, right? And that's with them, doing a lot of capital expenditures and things like that. So you know that is a company that's most likely going to bounce. It already came way down to 5.99. We start to have a bounce already. We are getting a bounce already. It came down to a very, very strong level. That's the level I drew yesterday, guys. Remember when I was telling you guys I was watching for this level, but since yesterday was the first day, I want to see, are we going to get continuation, or are we going to actually start bouncing back up? I want to give it a little time just to let the dust settle so it can really choose a direction so I can try to get in whenever, whichever direction that it takes. What else actually pushed the market higher again? We can go and take a look at Microsoft again. I think Microsoft, guys, is giving us a bit of an opportunity. Why am I saying that? If you look at that in the daily, you can see what I'm seeing here, guys. This is textbook, you know, textbook inverted head and shoulder pattern. Textbook inverted head and shoulder pattern. So we are seeing this right there. And I'm looking for an entry on Microsoft right now. This is a level I am very, very comfortable in getting something. And guess what? If you actually draw that support line, if you draw that support line, we actually close right on that support line. This is a major level. Now, I would have preferred Microsoft coming down to these levels, right? I'm gonna do that as a zone. This is where I would have preferred Microsoft to come, because that was actually my target. I'm hoping it drops a little lower to those levels. I would have felt more comfortable because it would have end up giving me like a perfect right shoulder right here, right? Perfect right shoulder. Right now it's not doing that. It's not giving a perfect right shoulder, but it's still giving a right shoulder. So we are going to look at Microsoft for an entry. As far as the entry, because it is a higher right shoulder, so you would have to, if you trade very carefully, very conservatively, what exactly would you have to do? You would have to actually wait until we actually cross above this level so you can ride the rest of it up. Let me see. Do I have a question here? Jesus died to pay the price for our sins and rose again, offering eternal life to those who believe in him. Yeah, and what we're going to do, we're also going to believe in those charts. This is not something else we're going to do. Believe in the chart, believe in your plan. You gotta have belief. All right. So that being said, moving on, guys. Um, Other company, other stock I've been looking at. If you can swing that, I keep telling you guys about CEG, Constellation Energy. Constellation Energy. Personally, I'm not holding that. I'm not even dropping this for my guys in the chat, in the group chat, right? The alert chat. I'm not dropping that. However, this setup right here, that was since here, I was telling you guys, what am I seeing here? This is a break and a retest of that level, and today we actually squeezed. I'm not taking that. I can tell you to take it. I tell you to do your own due diligence. And but this is what I want to say. The only reason I'm not in this play is because those option premium are a bit too crazy, too high for me. So if that's something that you can swing, it's not whatever you want to make that decision. I think this is a good play. All right, I think this is an absolute good play. Um, Now this is the play I told you guys that I was on. I mean, they try to scare a lot of us to get out of that play. This is Apple, right? I want to show you guys the foolishness that happened in Apple. Like literally, let me just zoom in. Little about 5 minutes before the market closed, Apple was squeezing up. We were around like 275, as high as 276, and this is what happened. And I'm seeing it all throughout social media. A lot of people got scared and they got out of their positions. I don't do things like that. Why? When you have conviction, especially when you have time, I don't need to. I know those things. This is how they fake you out. This is how they fake you out. Now, look at what happens after they freak everyone out to get out and sell their things and whatever. This is what Apple did in the after hours. Now it is still a higher now. It's higher now. I think it's around like 280 currently. But this is what you could have done. You would have missed this entire move. Again, you don't know what's gonna happen. Again, because I always tell you guys, you never know when it comes to whenever it comes to earnings. Earnings can go either way. But guess what? I felt very comfortable because we had that convergence. Look at that. First thing we have is that downward trend line. That's one. We also have an horizontal support and resistance level. I'm saying support and resistance because it keep bouncing right below, right around that range. So that's the reason I'm using both for that. And then if you have an upward trend line, you can see how this is rising up. So pricing is there's a coil spring happening here, meaning at some point the stock is going to explode one way. Now it could have also went down, but the fact that we are not at all-time high, Apple is still considerably undervalued a bit based on their current PE ratio compared to the other Mag 7. I felt comfortable holding that. That's one. Two, we have this beautiful cup and handle pattern that is formed here, and I've been telling you guys that. I've been saying that every single night. This is the cup, and what we are doing here, this is the handle. Now, where exactly would you actually look for that for the rest of that move? So once you have this all the way there, okay, that's not perfect, but that's okay. So to get the full move, you would have to do this, and then you take that from here to here. So we're looking at possible move. Apple may squeeze all the way up to 300. There's a possibility we squeeze all the way up to 300 because if we actually close above 279, so that means the next resistance level for Apple is where 287. Weekly 287 is blue sky, baby. It's blue sky. All right. So this is why that's the analysis. It's not because I wanted to hold Apple through earnings, but that's the analysis that was done. Earnings was just part of the catalyst that could help make that push. But this was the analysis that I already done before Apple even reported. Right. So that means it's not like I don't want you guys to start thinking about, well, when a company is going to report, I need to go in. No, we don't base what we're doing just on that. We based our trading in with the candlestick patterns, the chart patterns. But if the earnings comes while everything is lined up, that's how you get really nice bounces. All right. Next play I wanted to look at. Amazon actually did something that was interesting because Amazon gapped up, opened all the way at all-time high at 273. Then this thing ran all the way down from 273 to 256, all the way down to 256. But it did bounce right back up again. It did not close the. It closed it a slightly green, sort of flat, but it still closed higher. I just don't like this candle on Amazon. I just don't like that candle whatsoever. I mean, you can see the volume, the selling volume that came in that. I really thought it was going to run like crazy because their reports was that good. It was great. Um, then other company I want to look at as well doing a pullback. I'm looking to get into Nvidia. It would be so great if Nvidia could come here. And again, before I move in and talk about what I'm looking for the next play with Nvidia, remember this is the line that I had, guys. Remember, this is literally the poll that I had when I said, "Hey, with this breakout on Nvidia, which I was waiting for Nvidia to do, this would be the length of the move." Now take a look at this. This is what that gave us. Exact move, pinpoint with pinpoint accuracy. And guys, this is why some of the people in the chat call me the prophet. This is why, man. I mean, you guys know I didn't put that there. You've been here every night. We've talked about that. I have shown you the target. I've talked about it, and guess what? If you were in it, this was your sign to get out. This is what I tell you guys when you're trading. You gotta have a plan, and when you go into a play, you need to know your exit strategy. Sometimes funky stuff happen, right? Don't get me wrong. Sometimes funky stuff happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Let's say you somebody who thought, oh, this seems like he's doing this thing sort of seems like he's doing a bull flag. So you are going to get in here and say, hey, you know what? If we actually close around here, I'm going to get out. If you're on options, especially short dated options, you just got killed. There's literally almost nothing left in this. Because you're talking about your initial stop for you to get out on display was supposed to be 207. And as you're waiting for the day to see what the day was going to bring, this thing actually went to 199. At this point, unless you have a lot of time on that play, you got killed. But anyway, this is what I would love for this thing to do. Come down here, tap that, just so I can take that move. Because right now, what it's giving us, this is the opportunity. The opportunity is now Nvidia is giving us this range, right? So before it made the move, let me just pull that down. So before Nvidia made the move, right? This was our range, right in here, right? You see how it just stays in that range. So now it's giving us a new range, which means if it comes down to this level, I will be getting it because more likely than not is going to come in, probably bounce on here and go test the range of the top of the range again. Because Nvidia is the leader with all the AI, the the conductors, and Nvidia is the only one not currently at all-time high or about like 56%, 50 to 60% higher for the year. Nvidia is probably the only one, and they are the leader, right? If you don't believe me, take a look at this is Lem Research. You can see what AMD is doing. This is AMD. This is AMD. This is how ridiculous this is. Oh my goodness, but Jesus, what a move! What a move! My God. All right, we can't chase that. Not even going to focus on that. Can't chase that. Can't do nothing with that. So we're just going to let it be. There's a couple of plays we have been talking about. I want to still taking a look at with you guys. Looking at Baba. Baba is just consolidating. I don't know if he's just going to consolidate until their earnings. They report earnings all the way on the second week of May. That's when they report earnings. But right now it's just like you guys can see this wedge pattern that's right here, right? It's just consolidating there. That's that coil spring that happens. So it's getting tight, 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 and at some point it's just going to explode. Which way is that going to explode? We're going to be patient and see exactly what happens. But to be honest, if somebody getting right here today, it would not have been a bad idea. For those of you guys, by the way, in the chat, I cannot drop everything. There are so many plays in the market. I gave you guys about 2, 3 plays today, and we already have the Apple Play open. We're just going to stay in and let things play out. All right. Taking a quick look at McDonald's. McDonald's is actually making me a little happy. I'm starting to like that a little bit. All right. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why now? Why am I loving it? We came to that support level. We based out, and we actually had a higher volume coming in. So I think we might make a move. We might make a move here. We're gearing up for a move here. That's what's happening. Let me just try to take a look at that in the week on the weekly. Let's see how that's going. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Nah, don't tell me that. Oh my God. Oh my. I don't know if you guys see what I'm seeing here. This is the COVID low, right? COVID low, and this is this low that we had. That's on the trend line, and we are right at this trend line again. Now look at the move that is made every single time we go and bounce on that trend line. But let me see. This time we bounce on the trend line. We put in a 30% move to the upside. The last time we bounced on it, 30% move to the upside. Let me see. Um, Here we put in an 86% move to the upside. I'm going to put a channel here so we can continue to watch this, guys, because this to me is let's see, where's my channel? There you go. Let's go on the weekly and put in that channel. Hold on, let me just remove that first. Now that is an opportunity. There you go. That is an opportunity. Bottom of the again, it is possible that it's going to drop and keep dropping, but this is something. But this is I see you, James. But this is something I'm very comfortable getting in, guys. I will be looking for a position on this. I want to take something and I want to give that time. I want to give this some time because I'm loving it. Now, not the food. I don't eat fast food, guys. I try to protect myself from that. Um, because I just don't don't like fast food. I prefer making my burgers at home because I'm using real grass-fed beef. That's the way that I am. If you do, more power to you. I hope more people go out and buy because I'm going to get in and I need this stock to pop. Oh yeah, that is juicy. That is juicy. So again, we'll put a pin on that just so you guys can remember. I'm gonna keep doing these things just so we can remember. So this is where I'm gonna put that little smiley face right here because that just made me happy. All right. Now, next play I'm talking about Ion Q. Ion Q. I'm taking a look at this play again, guys. This is prime for a pop. This thing is prime for a pop. Also, remember they have earnings coming in on next week, I believe, May 6th. They have earnings coming May 6th, which could be a catalyst to push the stock higher, or it may be the catalyst to push it lower. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I do believe they just landed some government contracts, which might work very, very, very well for them. All right. Now let's take a look at the VIX. I haven't taken a look at the VIX yet, guys. The VIX is just crashing, which is great that the VIX is crashing. I need this bad boy down around 13, 14. All right. 13, 14 is exactly where I'm looking for to try to get the VIX. Remember when I told you guys since here, I keep telling you guys, hey, the VIX don't look like it's about anything. It doesn't matter which chart you look at. This is what happens when you're talking about trading, right? Look at that. Break of the trend line, retest of the trend line, and we just went to make a new low. We're just pushing back. That break and retest on trend lines, you're going to see that in every single stock you look at. So that's sometimes he doesn't do a perfect retest. That's okay. But guess what? You know how many times he's going to do it? So all we have to do is just wait. Be patient. Wait for a stock who does it. This is not Pokemon. We don't have to catch every single one. All right, guys? That's the way it is. Let me see. What else we have here? Bitcoin. Dead money. I'm still going to keep calling this thing dead money. Like, what in the world is this? Like, everything making new high. Can you do something? Like, come on, man. Just bust a move. Bust a move. Why Bitcoin is still just consolidating, guys. I mean, if you in Bitcoin, um, I'm barely in Bitcoin, but if you're in Bitcoin, you're a little heavy in it. I really feel for you. But then again, as I told you guys, for me, instead of when I talk about being in Bitcoin, I'm talking about this, right? Now, I'm going to give you guys a little game that a lot of people may not talk to you about. So, if you hold Bitcoin, you just have to hold Bitcoin and hope it goes up so you can make profit or whatever. So that money is locked up. Let's say you have about 15 grand or 20 grand or 50, whatever, how much it is that you have in Bitcoin, right? It's just going to have to stay there. Now, let's say instead you take that 30 grand, you put that in BITX. Because BITX is an ETF, what you can what you can end up doing, you can actually borrow money against the ETF in case you need money to work on other things. So that means you don't have to get out of your position. You can actually borrow against the ETF, but they don't allow you to borrow against Bitcoin. But that is something that you can do in case you need money for whatever, whether it's a big ticket item that you have to take care of. You can do things like that. That's one way you can use ETFs. If because there are things you're going to hold for the long term anyway. So if you need to whatever, instead of getting a loan from the bank, which is going to charge you like 12, 50, whatever percent, if you take that from against your if that's something that you take against your ETFs, it's costing you maybe around like 1 to 2%. So it doesn't cost you a lot, and there's no origination fee. So there's a lot of fees that you actually avoid. If that is something you want to look at, again, make sure to talk to your financial advisor to do it. All right. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just letting you know what's possible with these things. All right. Um, Let's see. Last things I wanted to look at. Is there anything else I wanted to look at? Actually, I think this is about it. Oh, oil. Guys, oil once again is spiking up. Now, what I'm looking at is oil doing like a break and retest of the trend line, like we've seen to put that move in, or is oil just basing out and giving us this? That is a thing, and I don't know. As of right now, it is a little sketchy as far as what's going on right now. It is a little sketchy. There have been reports that there are plans were presented at the White House for a possible attack or something like that. So if that happens, for those of you guys with cars, man, I wish you guys the best. Because I don't know what that feels like anymore. I live in New York. I live in Manhattan, so I don't drive. I think some people refer to that as public transportation, but I'd like to say I have private chauffeurs. They just drive really, really big cars, otherwise known as buses. You might have seen some of them around, but it's so convenient being in Manhattan, so I don't have to drive. But for those of you guys who do, like sincerely, man, I understand the you guys' pockets are hurting right now. And I think gas prices is going to keep going higher. And this is again, this is futures. This is not the actual price. This is futures, not the actual price. The actual price per barrel, we're talking about more like in the USO range, like 150, 170, depending on where you are. This is the some of the highest prices we have seen in years. Let me see. Um, well, I think they did a split on that, so that doesn't really show exactly how that would show compared to all time high. All right. And the 10-year yield, guys, is still making a move up. The 10-year yield is actually, which is interesting how the market is actually moving up when the 10-year yield is actually rising. Typically, the 10-year is typically when that goes up, the stock market typically drops. But we're in different days right now. This is different. This is a new age, so things happens a little different. So that's the way it's going. All right, guys. What up? I appreciate you guys being here. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for spending part of your evening with me. Again, over here, just remember it is process over profit. It is still the POP system. This is what we are using here. Is process over profit. You follow the process, your profit will follow. All right. Tomorrow, don't be over aggressive. Don't be too greedy. It is get in, get green, and get out. And make sure if you have not liked this live yet, make sure to like. If you're watching on replay, make sure to share that with at least one person or drop that in one of those chats that you guys are part of. Every single person, including you that is watching, know somebody else who also either trade or just invest vaguely. This is a channel that can help them out a little bit. So I would appreciate it if you can share that with them. You never know what somebody might be able to take away from that. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one. Again, if you'd like to trade with me, reach out to me. Let me know. For the option outlet chat, it is just $5 a day. It's $25 a week. $5 a day. You get a couple. We get 1 to 2 good trades in. You already pretty much take care for the whole month or for the next 3 months. All right, guys. Take care. It's been fun. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm doing a live tomorrow at some point. I don't know when, but I'm going to start making lives on Wednesday now as well. And we're probably going to switch over to making uh, either an opening pre-market, like a pre-market prep live, or midday check-in live. So we're going to have a couple of additional lives going on. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Anyway, it's been well. Have a good night. You guys take care. You guys been great. Peace out, guys. Take care.